Hello gardeners, I wanted to talk to you today about growing upwards, and there's lots of reasons for doing that. First of all, you think you've paid for the ground, but actually you've paid for all the space above it as well, so why not use it? Secondly, if you live somewhere very windy, like where I am, all your plants need good support, and basically that really helps if they're grown up trellises or grown with strong stakes and things like that. Another good reason is that if you have plants that are running along the ground, so it's, for example, supposing you have melons or squashes or cornichons, something like that, then they're in contact with the soil, and when that happens they're more likely to rot. You're also more likely to miss them because you just don't see them on the ground. And also plants like those that I've just described, those running squashes, they take a huge amount of space, so they'll run 4 or 5 meters in the case of things like trombone squash. So a really nice way of trying to contain them a bit is to grow them up, either things like this, which are simply arches, and then they just have this sort of fence wiring attached to them using cable ties. Alternatively, you might want to grow peas, for example. I've got some peas growing just there. I've got some more I sowed yesterday here, and these peas will grow up here. A little later, when the peas are over, which will be in a couple of months' time, I can then use it for runner beans. I could use it for cornichons. I could use, for example, these over here. You see those structures there? They're ideal for growing tomatoes, such as the ones I've already planted there, some sacrificial tomatoes. I'm just hoping it's not too cold or too windy for them. But tomatoes or butternut squash, because they're shorter and heavier, and so I can then use them to support everything there. And basically it gives you a great deal more space. The other thing is that if you grow something like snake beans, those are absolutely wonderful. I'm just going to move that out of the way. I'll chuck it onto the spuds for a minute. Come this way. I want you to imagine that this little arch here has beans growing up and over it, and then they go right up to the top, and then they dangle because snake beans are about this long, and so it's absolutely beautiful. You get this purple curtains of beans that become very easy to pick. And how much space have you taken? Well, just that space there and that space there, so you can still grow things on the other sides, as I have here. I've got onions and peonies and coriander and so on. So it gives you quite a bit of space in which to grow things that normally would just take up a lot more. When we're talking about things like these arches, you might think, golly, that's a lot of money to invest. But actually, what I did was I bought 3 €17 arches, and I've simply cable tied them together to make this space. So just over €50. I think this is pretty good. It will last 3 or 4 years, something like that, but makes a nice support. And so I've got a whole series as we go through of supports. So we've got low wooden ones like this, and I'm about to plant some squashes here. So these are like a sort of blue butternut, and I'll put them so that they can go over the top, and then I can support them through here if I want to, or just along the top as they grow. And then here I made another one just out of wood, just some wood I had left over, and I've actually got roses growing up here. This rose is called Susie Sainsbury. So those are growing up either side, but it makes for a really pretty garden, and you're using a lot less space than you would otherwise. Hope that helps.